Your name is the first gift you're given. The person who gave it to you thought long and hard about what to choose and how to present it. It plants the seed of identity and opens the doors of history. And if my sister Dia would have been this person, my name when I was born would have been Shorty Elwood. She was sorely disappointed when they didn't choose her idea. There's so much power in your name, whether you like it or not. You have the power to make it notable. You can give others the power to use it against you. And you also have the power to change it. Like I said, your name is simply a gift. It's not your responsibility to like every gift you're given. And it's all right to find a different one that suits you better. My name is Lucas Estefan Porter. I was not born with this name, although my dead name is very similar. And while most people associate the term dead name with trans or non-binary folk, it isn't exclusive to that community. It belongs to every person who has ever felt the freedom of choosing their own name. Who knows what it's like to have to reintroduce yourself to the world? I'm not going to tell you my dead name, at least not all of it. Mostly because I've already explored that in another essay. But also, it's none of your business. Also, I won't go into the why of my name, although I will go into the how come. But first, a little moment to teach. If this isn't a life lesson you're familiar with, let me tell you now, trans, cis, non-binary, any person who's changed their name doesn't owe you an explanation. And their dead name should stay dead. Don't think you're entitled enough to need to know it. With that being said, the first and middle names I was given at birth are dead. But the last name I had will never die. Because while it's no longer my personal name, it is forever my family name. Coiner, a last name I truly adore. A lot of my favorite humans have it. It's also attached to a father I love very much. But just because I love my dad with all my heart, doesn't mean I had to keep his surname. As a youth, I never cared about what people called me. It wasn't until my stepdad died when I was 7 that I began to really see my name. My mom and stepsister shared his last name, but I didn't. It weighed heavily on me. At such a young age, I felt like I wasn't a part of the family, that the love I had for my stepdad wasn't enough. So I needed to share his name. My mom's name, my sister's names. It wasn't an option. My rebellion against my given identity began days after he died. I was in 2nd grade, and I began writing the last name Porter on all of my work. This wasn't flying with my teacher, who kept telling me I had to put my real name down. I refused. I was always a do what I'm told kid, but not this time. I was a Porter, and damn it, they were going to respect that. I didn't care how angry they got with me. I would not budge. The vice principal scheduled a meeting with my mom, and thankfully, my mom had my back. She had never seen me this way before. She knew how important it was. They compromised by altering all my transcripts to have my last name read Coiner Porter. A compromise I could handle. It actually made me feel even closer to my mom than just being a Porter, as she had a hyphenated last name as well, Cox Porter. And for the rest of my adolescence, I never had an issue with my name again. Maybe issues with spelling or how other people pronounced it. Like the school registrar who ran my last name together so fast over the intercom that it came out as Queen or Peener. But never with my name itself. It was mine. I owned it. I was proud of it. My mom ended up dropping the Cox from her name later in life. While her obituary said Cox Porter, her ID only had Porter. After her death, I found myself struggling with my name again. Well, my school transcripts were fine with my name being altered. Now that I was 18, I realized that it didn't make my name legal. It was still just a preferred name. When I was 20, I found an organization that not only paid for your name change, but actually had someone go to the courthouse to help you fill out paperwork. The organization was called Outside and Here in Portland. The program they had set up was known as the Identity Project, and it was run through a partner organization, TIRC, short for Trans Identity Resource Center. When I got there, I confounded them. I was the first cisgender person that ever sought help from their program. But I was a homeless youth at the time and fit every criteria they asked for. They didn't complain one bit. They just thought my point of view about my name was completely valid. And since I was low income, they certainly weren't going to give me shit about my name for just being cis. They were there to help. I'd been thinking about changing more than just my last name and decided in the moment I was filling out the paperwork at the courthouse that I would. I chose spelling similar to my dead name, but with flair, pizzazz. A name no one ever had before, and no one else would ever want. Something that was truly mine. It felt like a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, so I took the gamble. And I'm proud of myself for doing it. The day I showed up in court for the official hearing, I was so nervous. But the judge simply asked me if I was who I said I was, and that I actually wanted to change my name. And bam, it was stamped, and I was on my way. I finally had my name, mine, not one that was given to me, but my own. It was the freest feeling I've ever had in my life. I left the courthouse, and every color just felt brighter. I was finally me. I wasted no time making my new identity permanent, getting my new ID and getting my ass down to Social Security the very same day. Nothing was going to stop me from being my authentic self, now that all the pieces seemed to fit together. I glowed for months, happily showing off my new ID to all my friends, and once all my new paperwork had arrived and all my bills were transferred, my real life truly began. It was my first taste of true empowerment. Before I wrap up, I need to reiterate something. I absolutely love the last name Coiner. I love my dad. I love that whole side of my family. It wasn't just for me. For most of my life, my mom and I were a team to ourselves. I didn't change my name to spite my dad. I didn't change it to feel closer to my stepdad. I changed my last name so that my mom and I would have the same last name forever. No offense to either my dad's or my stepmom, but I needed to be a porter, solely feel closer to my mom. After she died, it was the only thing that made me feel close to her again. A small way of reminding myself that she'd always be with me. When it comes down to it, I don't care what anyone thinks about my name. I don't care if the spelling messes with their head. I don't care if they think it looks stupid. I don't care if it's hard to pronounce. I don't care. I am Lucas Estefan Porter. I'm proud of every part of me. And while I hope this essay answers basic questions about my choices, in the end, I honestly don't owe anyone any sort of explanation. No one does.